Good morning, grade 8. Welcome to today's class. I'm so happy to see. I'm just laughing at your text now. Goeiemorgen. No, I haven't been kidnapped. I'm still here. Uh, you guys are so funny. Right, but welcome. Today we've got a lesson which is one of my biggest passions in Afrikaans. It's writing. And I know that for some of you it might be a headache because you get this assignment and you have to write an essay or an article or something, and now you have to think in another language. And I must say, I always felt like that in English. You know, you get worried and you don't know because your vocabulary is not so well, and you don't know all the rules and stuff for punctuation and so on. But um, it's okay. That's why you have a teacher, and that's why you're still in school and you're learning, and you'll all be fine. So what I'm going to do in this lesson today is I'm going to explain to you the different types of essays that we get, and then what each of them mean and what you should do in each of them. And then as I go on, you can take a picture. Um, and then, yeah, then you have the information about different types of essays. And then for our next lesson, I've got a nice slideshow for you guys also about the way the writing process. How do you start writing it? So now that you've got everything, if you know types of essays, now how do you start writing? Later this year, we will focus on the different type of short transactionals, like for instance letters and articles and so on. But for now, let's focus on essays, which is the biggest one that you maybe have been encountered before. So yeah, okay. And then just for you guys information, I am are the grade 8 and 9s doing the same work. Therese, when it's a combined lesson, I usually, like for instance, when the grade 8 and the grade 9s have to do the same type of thing in the next following weeks, like for instance, opstelle. Then usually I use the same slideshow, but I'm have a bit more difficult stuff that I ask you guys in between for grade 9s, for instance. So it's the very same slideshow, but you'll see as we go on, I ask different questions and so on. Okay, but that is it. Then I want you all to quickly listen to me. I have got a link most that I created for you guys, the Drive link, and it is in this PowerPoint as well. And then I've also got a no, my brain is not lacquer since yesterday. The email. Okay, so I've looked at my emails last night, and I saw that some of you emailed me and asked, "Ma'am, can I please have the PowerPoint? I'm in grade 8. My name is whatever." And I said to you, "Yes." And last night I took some time and I actually emailed the PDF versions of the PowerPoint to those whom asked. Remember, I said you must give me your grade and your name. But then I also took the liberty on the Google Drive link. There is a summary of woordsoorte, not woordsoorte, werkwoorde. There is a PowerPoint on there for you guys about voornaamwoorde. There's a poster for tussenwerpsels, and then all the slideshows from the previous lessons is also on there. And Teresa will also see it for grade 8 and 9s and 7. So what I usually, when it's a lesson that is everything to do with the same grades, then I'll put it in one PowerPoint, and then I'll teach it to you guys on different levels. So it's just to make it easier. But then after this combined lessons, the next two, then we start doing your own work. Can I just also ask you guys, what Afrikaans textbooks do you use? So I just want to get an idea of what the textbooks is that you guys use, so that I can, look if I can find something like that on that Snappify website that I encountered. So I've got a Via Afrikaans textbooks for grade 8. What do you guys use? Please quickly tell me, what textbooks do you guys use? I'm talking about just the textbook now, not the stories. Via Africa, okay. Just quickly want to write that down. Anyone else? Ooh, Big Fine is my favorite. Okay. Okay. So I see Big Fine, I see Via Africa, Afrikaans sonder grense. Okay. No, does any one of you use Picfane? Do you even get Picfane? Okay, what's that one? Skume. What's that? Okay, I have to go and Google that. Okay, so I'm just going to check as we go on because I don't want to waste time. So that is the textbooks that you use. I use Sonder Grense, Picfine, is easy and nice. Yes. Okay, guys, thanks. All right, so then I'm going to see if I can find some of those textbooks and then work through them with you as well, so that you guys don't feel that you have textbooks and you're never going to use it again, because you will. All right. So Afrikaans grade 8 and 9, types opstelle. Now you must focus for me. Let me just ask, do you all have coffee? Because I don't. So I might sleep. All right, guys. So let's see what today's lesson is going to teach us. So we're going to look at different types of essays. The first one is verhalende essay, which is a narrative essay. Beschrijvend, descriptive, bespiegelend. I think that is I can't remember, but we'll get there. And then argumentative and a beredenerende opstel. Okay, now you must listen to me. Some of you, as I said, may jump of excitement when you see you've got to write an essay, and some of you might feel that you want to crawl under a rock because you struggle. But let's first see why writing is important. So it is part of our daily routines. You don't necessarily write on a piece of paper or on a computer or anything, but you also write in your mind. Like I'm teaching you guys now, you're sitting there in your chair and you're taking notes in, and that note is your mind writing stuff. So writing is a natural thing for us every day, whether it is with your hand or with your mind. And we're going to look at different essays here so that you can understand the difference between the essays, how to focus and write these essays, and to get clever, because that's why we're in these classes. All right, so the very important thing I want you to listen to here, this is what Albert Einstein said. He said, creativity is intelligence having fun. There's nothing that I can emphasize more for you when writing essays is creativity. When you are creative and you've got the right mindset when you write an essay, you're gonna have fun. And you all are intelligent children, all of you. I've never actually encountered somebody who's not intelligent. And I'm very grateful for that, because I don't believe that there is unintelligent people in this world. It's just people that haven't got the opportunity to show their intelligence yet. So be intelligent, because you are, believe that you are, and believe in yourself and your creativity. Okay, so let's then first have a look at the verhalende opstel, or the narrative essay as you might know it. Just to make sure that you're all with me, I want to see smiley faces quickly. I want to see smiley emojis quickly. Where do I see that? I want to see smiles. Then I know. Daar sy Therese. Second smile. There say, that's say. Okay. So you all are listening to me. Now that is what I want to see. Okay, great. So close your eyes. I'm serious. I can see if you're not closing your eyes. Okay, so your eyes are now closed, hopefully. I want you to see a boy walking in the city. And his group of friends comes closer. And they start to rollerblade in the streets or skateboard. And something happens. Now, what something happens is what you are going to go on with me now. So I gave you a storyline. I said, okay, there's a boy walking the city. His friends are coming closer. They are starting to rollerblade or to skateboard. And what a narrative essay is you going on now. You're telling the story of this boy and his friends, and they're in the city. So a verhalende opstel, or a narrative essay, is us telling a story. So if you look here, and at the end I'll give you a chance to man. He doesn't die. If you want to write he dies, then you can write it now. You somewhat threw me off now. Okay, all right guys. So dit vertel 'n verhaal of a story. So it is like a storybook you're reading. And it also describes events. Now, it can be used, you can use a lot of byvoeglike naamwoorde or bywoorde. But listen to this part that I'm saying here. Byvoeglike naamwoorde en bywoorde is adjectives and adverbs. So you can use them in a verhalende opstel, a narrative essay. But please don't use too much of them. Because if I get an essay and all I see is adjectives the whole time, I want to faint. Because I don't get the story at the end because all I see is adjectives. I don't even know what the story is about. I only see adjectives. So please, when you write a narrative essay, use adjectives. But it's like our eating habits. I love chocolates and I can't stop eating chocolates. Okay? So I have to pace myself. I have to say to myself, not too much. Which I always laugh about because if there's chocolates in the house, it's gone. But writing a verhalende essay is like chocolates because you have to use byvoeglike naamwoorde adjectives in wat sê ons in Engels. You shouldn't do it too much. Jy moet, what's the word, Lesedi? Come on. Wanneer ek wil sê moderation. Yeah, you use it in moderation. So you're not going to eat too much chocolates. You're not going to eat too much byvoeglike naamwoorde. You're just going to do it correctly. All right. Then you must use your senses. Now think of your senses. You can touch, you can smell, you can feel, you can see. So those are all, and you can hear. I think I've mentioned see twice. Okay, so that's the stuff that you can write about. You can tell maybe that boy now, he is feeling the wind blowing against his cheek as he skateboards. He smells petrol and burning tires. He sees people on the street that doesn't have, that they're living on the street. And then he falls and he feels pain in his arm. And then Lesedi says then he dies. Hopefully he doesn't die. Hopefully you've got another storyline there. We must think positive. We must think positive. Okay. So for a verhalende or narrative essay, it is always also important to do navorsing, research. But he comes back as a skating animal. Okay, well, Therese, now you see that is just weird. Okay, okay. Listen to me quickly. Get back on track. When you're in the exam or when you're having a test and they say, okay, you must write a narrative essay, and now you see here, but you must do research. Then obviously you don't have your internet there or your iPads or your computers. I'm laughing at you guys now. Then the ambulance came and then he goes to heaven, which is positive. Guys, focus. You know what? I'm going to ask Lesedi to write us an essay and then I'm going to share it. Okay, so navorsing is belangrik, but you cannot always do research when you're on a test or exam. So it is important to have a variety of things that you should know. For instance, guys, if you, like, I'm really into reading news and stuff. I like reading news. So that is my type of research at this stage. So if I go into the exams and I see, for instance, there is a question on something that might have happened in the news, then I know from experience that there's stuff that I already researched in the past. So your past research, you can also use that in a test or exam when you're writing an essay. I'm just going to take a moment and read Natalie's stuff here because I'm very nosy. And then the cops come and then accuse him for something he didn't do. Yeah, no, you see that's getting intriguing. And then Natalie says, die seun val in 'n sloot. Hy skram sy lewe uit om te help, dat sy vriende hom verlaat het. En toe raak sy vriende deur 'n motor geslaan. Nie 'n klein ene nie, 'n groot een. Dit tref al 3 vriende wat hulle in 'n koma het vir 16 jaar wat rondloop. Wow, guys. I think you watch too much scary movies or something. Yo. Okay. You're very creative. I don't think I need to emphasize so much in this story, on this lesson. Okay, but let's quickly focus again, please. You're making me nervous if you don't focus because I don't like talking to myself. All right, so a verhalende opstel must also have a storyline. Okay, so just as Natalie did there, and some of you did on this messages here, you have a storyline. So this happened, then that happened, then that happened, and because of that, this happened. So there must be a storyline. And then look at this one. This is a very important one. I want you all to focus now. Jy moet in jou opstelle retoriese elemente gebruik in jou verhalende opstel, which is rhetorical elements. Soos byvoorbeeld, jy moet 'n spanningslyn hê. So there must be stuff that builds up until the climax, and then there's a downwards thing. There must be humor. Okay, there's nothing I love more than to read a story, and there's a little bit of humor in it. It grabs my attention immediately. Also use personification and metaphors and simile and stuff like that. And then also idioms, idiome and Afrikaans. So that's stuff you can research now and then use them in the test or exam. So rhetorical elements, guys, these are marks. You're getting marks for those stuff. People enjoy that. Teachers who marks for stuff, they give extra marks. Well, I read an essay and I'll think, wow, this child actually used an idiom. That's creative. And then I'll give you a right mark there for that. And I'll remember it when I look at the rubrics. So teachers enjoy that. I can talk for that element. Then, not every time, but sometimes in a narrative essay or verhalende opstel, you can make a statement. Okay, so yesterday I used the example about men and women don't always need each other to do something good in life. But let's use this example that I gave you now about the boy. So people might think that when you rollerblading or when you skating on a skateboard, that some people might think, oh, okay, so that is sort of the child that's gotten on the wrong side of the life, and he's maybe doing drugs or something like that. And that's probably not the case, or he's skipping school or something. And that is stereotyping. So people will see something and they'll make up their own minds without even knowing the person's story. So there's actually sort of judging. So when you're writing a narrative essay, you can actually tell a story and then make a statement in the end. Telling the story, it's saying that just because this boy is skateboarding in the middle of the day doesn't mean that he's skipping school, or that he's not in school, or that he's stealing, or that he's doing something like that. So you may, of course, in a narrative essay make a statement. It's like a lesson that you're trying to teach the people who read it. So that is an important thing. It can be in a verhalende opstel. It doesn't have to be, but it is an option. Every narrative essay or verhaal does have characters in it. You must have characters, especially when you're going to describe it. I want to know how the character looks, what does he do, he or she, something like that. So describe your characters. Important aspect, chronologically. Now, tell your narrative essay or your verhalende opstel, write it in a chronological order. But it is okay if you sometimes go from the present to the past and you refer back to something. So remember, write it in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 element or way, but you may refer back to the past. For instance, if something happened in the past and it has, Natalie says a flashback, that's correct. So you can do something like that. Then, to make a verhalende opstel interesting, there must be a series of events. I don't want to read about one thing that happened and that's the end. I want to know what happened after that thing that happened. What was the what happened there? What was the lesson that we could learn? So a series of events, a reeks gebeure. And then, guys, write something interesting. Okay, and I'm thinking now out loud here. I've been a teacher now for 8 years, and if I read an essay, I want to laugh, and I want to maybe cry, and I want to feel something when I read an essay. I want to see the child's talent, and I want to celebrate the child's talent with them. I cannot stand an essay which is so boring, I fall asleep marking it. So, and that's usually an essay that's not, well, obviously it's not an interesting essay, but that's usually an essay where somebody didn't use their imagination. You can see when a child enjoyed writing an essay, when somebody enjoyed writing an essay. So you must always just try your best. Use quotes that you've read somewhere. Use idioms. Use and be interesting. I even had children. I've been, as I say, teaching 8 years. Now I've got children in high school because I teach high school students where I did. And sometimes they'll even draw me a picture after they've written me or written an essay, just to, make it interesting. But it's not only for the teacher. If you write an essay and you write something interesting, then you're going to enjoy it as well. Writing a story, guys, it's a whole new world. And in what does Lesedi say? Or if he was bad, he goes to hell. Negative, but God made a mistake and he shouldn't gone to heaven because he caused the church, but then it's too late and the guy with the horns kills him. Then God says, oh well. Wow, Lesedi, that is not right. Yo, 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 yo. Okay, guys, listen to me. Go to that website, klaskamer.co.za, and they've got a whole thing there about essays that you can also go and research. So I'm going to count till 5, then you must have taken a picture of this now. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Are you done? Okay, so let's go on. Madam, please can you give the website? Yes, so the website is klaskamerad.co.za. So just go and visit that website, klaskamerad.co.za. Let me quickly type it in here for you. You'll find something on there. Very good website. Okay, I am going on to the next slide. And here I decided that I'm going to give you an example of a good verhalende essay, the introduction, so that because I can preach, but I don't have to, but it's not nice if I preach and I don't have an example for you. No. So I'm going to read it to you, and then as I read, I'm going to translate it for you. And you know my translations is not always very good, but you'll understand. So this is an example of a narrative or verhalende essay. And remember, always write a title. Now, some of you might take the question that they give you an exam or test as the actual title. And I want to say, no. You always read the question, you ask yourself, do I know what to do? And you make your own title up. So that's part of being creative. Oh, what did I do here? Okay, so here is an example. Skielik was daar doodse stilte, and suddenly it was silent. Dit was 'n koue, stormagtige nag. It was a cold and stormy night. Die donderweer was oorverdowend. The thunder was racing, and die wind het om die hoeke van die huis gehuil. And the wind came around the corners of the house and it howled. Haal het op die dak gekletter. Hail was making loud noises on the roof. Ek was tuis, alleen en bang, and I was at home, alone and scared. That is an intriguing, amazing beginning of a verhalende opstel, because now I want to know what happened. I want to know what happened to the child. Was the storm getting bigger? Was there somebody crawling up on them and eating their feet? Is it a nightmare? What's going on? Okay, so guys, that's good, but not as good as my story. Lesedi, you're worrying me. I'm worried about you now. Guys, so that is an example of a good narrative essay, and underneath here is a nice little website, Taalarsenaal 2. Now that website there is also something where you can go and have there's a nice PDF on there. So just visit the website Taalarsenaal. There you'll find lots of stuff on PDFs about essays and extra work in Afrikaans and language and so on. I'm even going to do some of the poems that I see on that website with you. So visit that website, amazing website. Okay, so take a picture. I'm counting till 5 in my head, then I'm going on to the next essay. Okay, and I've even given you 2 seconds extra though. What is Natalie saying? But Lesedi saying muhaha. Natalie saying evil laugh right. Lesedi muha. Guys, I'm so glad that you're getting creative. But Lesedi, your creativeness is on another level. You're making me scared. Okay. All right. Lesedi, focus now. Yeah. Thank you, Therese. Now, here is the second type of essay. Beskrywende opstel, descriptive essay. Now, please don't get Lesedi. Sorry, I'm laughing, but that child's just too funny. Okay, so a beskrywende opstel is a descriptive essay. Okay, so please pay attention. There is a difference between a verhalende opstel and a beskrywende opstel. So a narrative essay tells a story, whereas a descriptive essay describes something. Okay, it can also be a story, but you'll see now. You're going to, in a beskrywende opstel, you're describing something or someone to the reader. So you can also describe the stormy night or how the boy on the skateboard looks, for instance. Nee. Okay, then it skep 'n beeld of 'n prent met woorde. So 'n beskrywende opstel, you must see an artist painting something because what he is painting there, you are supposed to describe for me in the essay. So you can describe how it looks and how the paint feels on the canvas and how the paint smells and how does the artist's hands look. So that's just an example, right? So a beskrywende opstel is then used to describe something. Also here, use stuff like idioms and imaginary, guys. So personifikasie en metafore and so on and so forth. Very important. Use your senses here, guys. So for instance, again, what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you touch. And you can also tell me a story. But remember, with a descriptive essay, you're going to tell a story, but you're going to describe something or someone. So you can still tell the story of the boy on the skateboard, but you're also going to describe more now about Shay saying, Madam, sorry to bother, must we write an essay? My signal is bad. No, you're not going to write an essay as yet. So I'm firstly describing giving you all the information, and then we'll talk. Okay. So you can also tell a story. Then practical, guys. Just for your information here, especially when it's not your first language, you need to be practical. So especially with your vocab. So most children's vocab, like my English vocab, is not always that well. But that's why I said that's why I said to myself, I'm going to read a lot in English, and now it's getting better. But what I want to tell you is be practical when you write an essay, in the sense that go with what you know, write neatly, write in paragraphs, give a proper title, use the stuff that you know. So if you know idiom, see if you can use it in the essay. So write a practical essay. Don't make it too difficult for yourself, but also challenge yourself. Okay, and that's the key, being creative. You know where your limits are. Always try to push away from your limits, because you can do Afrikaans, but also use what you know. But then, this is a very important thing. Please focus here. Connotative and denotative. Now that's connotative and denotative, which you have encountered in Afrikaans by this time and in English. So connotative meaning the figurative meaning, and denotative meaning the literal meaning. So you can use that in a descriptive essay as well, which is a very good way of describing stuff. Then gebruik byvoeglike naamwoorde en bywoorde, maar nie te veel nie. Just as with the verhalende essay. Use adverbs and adjectives, but not too much. Now you're going to tell me, but ma'am, if it's a descriptive essay, why don't I use a lot of byvoeglike naamwoorde? It's like I said with you with my chocolate addiction. Because I know I like chocolates very much, and because I'm not going to eat too much of them. I'm going to use or eat chocolates in moderation. So use byvoeglike naamwoorde in moderation. So my husband gave me an example a few years back. He read the books The Lord of the Rings, and apparently there is a page on there in that one book that describes, I don't know what the word for moss, that green stuff that grows on rocks and stuff. That page describes the rock with that moss on, an entire page. Now I'll faint. I'm telling you now, I'll faint, because I don't want to read a whole page on how the moss on the clip looks like, huh? So yeah, so that's why I'm saying in moderation, in moderation. I'm just going quickly back to the messages here. So there was a few jokes, and then Natalie, I don't like descriptive story. There's too much describing, like she was in a shoe shop that sold shoes. She wanted a sneaker, not any sneaker, a pink with yellow light. I'm like, yeah, okay, so Natalie, yeah. So again, it's also about what you like. Some people will never write a descriptive essay. I wouldn't do that. It's not my type of essay. Mine is rather argumentative or a verhalende essay, but we'll get to those. So it's usually what you prefer to write, but just remember now what you just said about use in moderation. Okay, then a descriptive essay, a beskrywende opstel, can also be fictie or realisties. So it can be fictional or realistic, and you can give your own opinion or what you see, waarneming. And then a print. At the end of this descriptive essay, I want to see a picture in my mind. And that is the idea behind it, is a descriptive essay. I want to see a picture in my mind. Quickly take a picture of this. Okay. Must we close our eyes? Not yet. I'll tell you when to do that. Okay, guys. So there you go. There is a beskrywende opstel. Now, I always ask this question. Do you understand what we've done so far? I want to see yeses. Please tell me, do you understand? Yes, yes. 100% great. Great, great. Amogelang, what don't you understand? Please tell me. I just want to know, if you don't understand something, I would like you to just state, ma'am, please go back to this type of thing. Then I'll explain it to you. So Amogelang, just tell teacher quickly, what is it that you don't understand? What slide do you want me to go back to? Okay, so I'm waiting there. Sadie, okay, here. There was one dark day, where trees fell because of the storm. Rain could destroy cars and people moved away. Well, except for me, my mother had to pick me up from school, but she wasn't there. So I went through a dark and cold park to get home. I was very close to home, or was I? Yeah, now that is intriguing, Lesedi. Now this is the type of stuff I want to see. Right. Okay, good, Lesedi. Well done. Okay, so Amogelang, which one is the narrative? So the narrative essay is the verhalende essay. I'm quickly going back for you. So that is the verhalende opstel, which is that's the narrative essay. So I'm going to type it to you here. Narrative is, oh, look at that, is verhalend. Okay, so that is your narrative essay. I hope you're okay now. So now I'm going on. I also have an example for you for a beskrywende opstel, a descriptive essay. Okay, the present tense in the beskrywende opstels gives a feeling of, yeah, goodwill. Okay, so here is a example of a descriptive essay. A beskrywende opstel. Again, just as a previous example, I will quickly read it and translate it as we go on. So the person gave us here a title, die Karoo. Now die Karoo is a place in the Cape Province, very beautiful place, very dry, but an amazing place. Okay, verskroeiende sand, burning sand, that's what I'm going to say. Klein, vaal bossies en bome, wat oortrek is van die middagson. Little plants and trees that is full of dust in the afternoon. Die hemel is 'n diep blou koepel in die son, describing the blue heavens and the sun. 'n Vuurbal, die son 'n vuurbal. Leweloos, sou jy wou dink. So without life, would you think? But think again, dink weer. Die Karoo het 'n lewe van sy eie. The Karoo has a life of its own. Guys, I'm reading it to you again. This is a introduction paragraph to 'n beskrywende opstel. Die Karoo. Verskroeiende sand, klein vaal bossies en bome wat oortrek is van namiddagstof. Die hemel is 'n diep blou koepel en die son 'n vuurbal. Leweloos, sou jy wou dink. Maar dink weer, die Karoo het 'n lewe van sy eie. That is so perfect. He's describing the sand. He's describing the trees and the plants and everything. He's describing the heavens and the sun, and he's describing what you might think. You might think a place like the Karoo has nothing because it's just ground and it's open fields and there's nothing really going on. But he's describing that the Karoo has a life of its own. So take a picture of this while I go through this. Does the Karoo have an oasis? No, it's not a, what do you call it? Woestijn. Yeah, it's not a woestijn. Okay, so no, it's not got an oasis. It's not a desert. Okay, take a picture. I'm kind of count till 5 in my head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, are you done? Can we go on? Does the Karoo have an what say? Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Good. I love it when you say yes, because then I know we're on the right track. This is the last one that we're going to do for today, because I don't think we're going to have enough time to finish the entire PowerPoint. So the next essay is what we call a bespiegelende opstel. In other words, a speculative essay. This is a very nice essay to write because you're going to philosophize or filosofeer in Afrikaans oor iets. So there is a topic and you're going to talk about this topic. Philosophize is the word. You're going to filosofeer. So you're going to give your opinion and the opinions of others. And then jou opinie, siening, emosionele reaksie en gevoelens word gegee. So your emotional reaction towards it, your feelings, what you see and believe, your opinion is what you're going to give in this bespiegelende opstel. Dit moet oor 'n persoonlike ervaring gaan. So it must be about a personal thing that you actually lived through. And you must be able to convince, to oortuig die reader. Don't do too much. Moenie oordrewe wees nie. Don't go so far, too much. What's the word for oordrewe? Oordryf is the word in Afrikaans. Don't make it more than it really should be. So therefore you must think about it and use quotes. So for instance, if you want to philosophize about something, you can maybe use quotes from Albert Einstein or something like that, so that you can sort of you want to convince the reader about what you think and your opinion is. That's the key. You have to convince the reader that you and your opinion is correct. Jy mag beskryf. You are allowed to elaborate on the topic. You might also be descriptive, but the importance of bespiegelende opstel is that you must work logically and systematic. And how do I do logic and systematic? I have a proper structure, which we'll get to in our next lesson. I make a statement, and I work from the statement downwards, but we'll get there. Use a lot of personal pronouns, which is ek en jy en sy en hy, and then there's an example, but let me quickly go back so that you can just take a picture there. Okay. Okay, guys, I see there's literally 3 minutes left. So what I quickly want to do is I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go through that example again tomorrow. I want to get to this slide. You know by this time my email address. So if you want something, you want to have an example or something, and you have a question, then you email me with your name and your grade. Okay. Natalie, Afrikaans, yeah, absolutely. That is my proper language which I speak there. Okay, and then that is the Google Drive link that you guys have in order to access notes and stuff that I'm actually giving you. So take a picture of this slide and then go to this slide and get everything in there that I've actually uploaded for you guys. There's nothing on essays or anything up yet. Only when I come across it, I will put it in. But I will also put in the slides for you there as we are done with it. Okay, so Anglicans, that is quite something. Okay, guys, I absolutely love it when you're creative. So you must keep this in mind for when we're going to do our exercise. Okay, put your masks on, sanitize your hands, and take care. You guys are amazing. You're creative beings, and have a good day. Take care of yourself, guys. Bye-bye.